Welcome back to Crushable. I'm Drew, not a beer expert, but I do buy beer at gift shops. In fact, this time I bought 3 beers at the World War II Battle of the Bulge Museum. And each beer's name has a really cool story behind it. So for those of you not familiar with the Battle of the Bulge, quite simply, during 1942, America thought we had Germany on the ropes. The Allied forces were making steady gains into Germany, and they thought the war would be, over within the next couple of months. Unbeknownst to them, Germany had squirreled away some of their panzer divisions, removed them from the line, refit them, and set them up for a winter offensive. They waited till the weather got bad, and then they proceeded to attack with their ultimate objective, retaking the port of Antwerp. But there was a crossroad towns in Belgium called Bastogne, which was very important for the mechanized vehicles the Germans had. But there were American forces stationed in and around Bastogne, and they decided to make a stand. But by December 22nd, the U.S. forces were encircled by the Germans, and the Germans sent some soldiers under flags of truce. They had a message delivered to the commanding general, which asked the Americans basically to surrender, that they were surrounded, and they were going to commence an attack and destroy them. Well, they woke up General McAuliffe and showed him the letter, and he had a one-word response: nuts. Basically, General McAuliffe never swore, and that was his version of go F yourself. So, first beer we have is Nuts. This is by Brasserie Rochehaut in Bouillon, Belgium. It's a Belgian pale ale, 6.5% ABV, and this beer is based upon walnuts. I mean, I drank this 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you could still smell that walnut flavor. It almost has a like a maple syrup walnut smell. And don't get me wrong, this beer smells awesome. If you like the smell of walnuts, you're gonna love the way this beer smells. You might not like the way it tastes. Honestly, walnuts can get a little rancid or, I don't know, sharp notes. They have sharp notes from their tannins, and it didn't drink as well as it smelled. Honestly, I only gave it a 2 out of 5 on Untappd, and I don't even think I finished it. I basically bucket of shamed this beer down the drain. It was almost undrinkable. It was so sharp and off-putting, that almost rancidy walnut taste. But still smells awesome. This brewery does make other beers, and I believe this was just like a one-off, trying to take advantage of the nuts and the walnuts. So maybe they make better stuff, but this, especially at €4, is definitely not a buy. Now, the second beer also has a story. Vince Barraza was a member of the 101st Airborne Division, 501st Parachute Infantry Company during the Battle of the Bulge. While visiting his buddy Joe Willis, who'd taken some shrapnel in the legs at an old church, he asked if he could do anything for him. And this church still stands in the town to this day. His friend asked him, "Hey man, can you find me something to drink?" And Vince's like, "Where am I going to find something?" He's like, "I don't know, go check out all the pubs or the taverns in the town." So Speranza went, he looks in the first bar, doesn't find anything. Looks in the second bar, pulls the beer tap, and sure enough, some beer comes out. So he takes off his helmet, nasty, sweaty, dirty helmet he's probably been wearing for, years, fills it up full of beer, and takes it back to his buddy, and his buddy takes a sip, and he's like, "Oh, that's so good." Other patients in that area were like, "Hey, give me some too." So sure enough, he passes around the helmet, and he's out of beer, and they're all like, "Go get some more." So he runs back, fills the helmet full of beer, gets back to the church, and waiting for him in the door is this major. He's the regimental surgeon. He goes, "What the heck are you doing there, soldier?" And joking, with probably a shitting grin on his face, he says, "Giving aid and comfort to the wounded, sir." He says, "I ought to have you court-martialed. I got patients in here with belly wounds and chest wounds, and you could kill them by giving them that beer. Now get out of here." So he runs off and thinks nothing more of this. Well, Vince goes back to Bastogne in 2009 and takes a battlefield tour, walks to the forest, sees his old places, and he's having dinner with some current NATO officers. And he tells them the story of the beer. And they give him this look like, you gotta be full of it. And they turn to him, they're like, you're that guy? And he goes, what do you mean? And they go, hey waiter, bring us 3 Airborne beers. And the waiter brings out 3 of these. And if you can, you'll see it on the label, but it's got a soldier, in 101st Guard with a helmet full of beer. And the story had become legend, and a local brewer in the area thought it'd be a good idea to brew a beer. So this is Airborne Biere Brune. They contract in Belgium for their brewing. This is the only product they basically have. It's a brown ale, 7.5. I gave it a 3.5 on Untappd. It's actually a decent Belgian brown ale. I kind of liked it. In fact, I'm kind of sorry I didn't go to one of the bars in Bastogne, and I've seen pictures. They have little ceramic helmets, and you can drink a beer out of the helmet, just like that. I mean, it's sort of kitschy, but it's a good beer. It's got a great story. And Vince, man, if you want to see some more Vince, I got 2 links down in the description. One is him describing his beer run, and then another is him singing Blood on the Risers at a reunion. Very cool. It should give you some chills. Alright, so last beer, and again, story time. We got Patton Beer here. General Patton was the commander of the U.S. Third Army. He was fighting near Saarbrücken, Germany, when the Germans made their counteroffensive in the Ardennes region, and the Bastogne was surrounded. And he was like reading the tea leaves and thought they might try an offensive. So he already had some tentative plans on how to withdraw his people and go up north. So as soon as he got the word from Eisenhower that he could retract some of his divisions, he started on 22 December, and he linked up with the 101st Forces on the 26th of December. He went about 180 kilometers or 110 miles in just 4 days. He moved over 200,000 men, 130,000 vehicles, and 60,000 tons of supplies. It's a pretty impressive feat to basically withdraw your entire army group, turn it 90 degrees, and go north and relieve your buddies. So somebody's taking advantage of that, and we got Patton Beer, Le General. We are gonna drink that one. So this is Patton Le General, Brasserie Lupulus in Gouvy, Belgium. Oh, definitely not filtered. It's a Belgian strong golden ale, coming in at 8.5%. Not messing around here. So let's try this and see if this is another tourist trap beer, or if this is actually something you should drink. It's definitely better than nuts, but that's a really low bar. It's not going in the bucket. It's not better than Airborne. I'm thinking feet to the fire. This is like a 2.75. It's better than average. I like the ABV. You drink a couple of these, you're gonna feel it. Definitely has a little bit of that alcohol burn. Not overly Belgian-y yeasty, if that makes sense, being that it's a Belgian strong ale. Has a sort of waxy bitterness towards the finish that's a little stringent. But otherwise, it's drinkable. So yeah, that's 3 beers from Bastogne, Belgium. Comment, like, subscribe, and as always, please drink responsibly. Pack in your trash, pack it out, and pour one out for Tim.